Hi, and welcome to the Art of Film Funding. I'm your co-host, Claire Papin, along with writer-producer Carol Dean, author of the best-selling book, The Art of Film Funding, and host of this show. Carol is the president of From the Heart Productions, a nonprofit organization that has supported filmmakers with the Roy W. Dean Grant, fiscal sponsorship, education, and resources for over 30 years. Carol also teaches the Learn Producing class. Each class features an industry expert guest instructor and is designed to give the information, guidance, and support to become a successful producer. You can learn more about this class and all of From the Heart Productions offerings at FromTheHeartProductions.com. So glad you could join us on the Art of Film Funding podcast, the show where we explore the creative, financial, and entrepreneurial side of filmmaking. We bring you conversations with filmmakers, producers, investors, and industry professionals who are finding innovative ways to get their films made and seen. Today, we're delighted to welcome Jessica Wrabel, a versatile and respected actress, producer with more than 2 decades of experience in television, film, and theater. Originally from Los Angeles, Jessica has appeared in acclaimed television series including Mad Men, Desperate Housewives, and The Young and Restless. She holds dual degrees in neuroscience and musical theater from the University of Southern California. Known throughout the entertainment industry for her collaborative spirit and strong professional relationships, Jessica has built a reputation as both a talented performer and an accomplished producer. She's the creator and producer of an upcoming feature film and a short film, projects rooted in transformation, faith, emotional truth, and the power of God's presence in our lives. Today, we'll discuss Jessica's journey as a producer, how she financed her film, the unique opportunities and challenges of faith-based filmmaking, and what she's learned about bringing an independent film from concept to audience. Joining Jessica for today's conversation is Carol Dean, founder and president of From the Heart Productions, one of the leading fiscal sponsorship organizations supporting independent filmmakers. Carol has spent decades helping filmmakers raise funding, build audiences, and bring important stories to life. And Carol, I'm going to turn this over to you now.
Thank you, Claire. Well, Jessica, we're really happy to have you. So let's jump in and start with what inspired you to create your film, and why did this story feel important for you to tell at this point in your life and your career?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And I'm so excited to share with you guys what's on my heart, and hopefully will be on big screen soon. So I have been in the Hollywood film industry for a while. And first, as an actress, I would try to find projects that I thought were worthwhile telling. And it wasn't easy. I'll be completely honest. Being in LA, we told a lot of silly stories, and I woke up one day, maybe 10 years ago, and I said, you know what? There needs to be more quality work that is meaningful, and meaningful that can reach to people's hearts, to encourage them, to show them that they're not alone, to really be the human on the screen, not just fun, silly stories are always fun. I'm not poo-pooing on that, but I wanted to tell more meaningful things. One of my love languages is quality time, and quality time is soul connecting. And so as a filmmaker, I want to connect to people's hearts and the depth of the human existence. And so I'm I have already I made a documentary about mental health and addiction, and we have three individuals telling their journeys through serious pain, through addiction, through homelessness, through abuse, and how God has saved them literally their souls, but also saved them from the tragedy of addiction and abuse. And now I'm telling my personal journey through postpartum depression and talking to some close friends who went through it as well in their own version of the story. And so I'm hoping that bringing this topic to the big screen will help people understand loved ones a little bit better who are and have gone through it, and also give a visual and a way for people to who have gone through it and who are struggling to say, "Hey, that's me." And that's a hopeful message, and I hope that my story, ends with light as well. So
If
that was a long-winded answer.
wonder, that's wonderful. Well, your background is fascinating. You studied both neuroscience and musical theater. So, how have these two disciplines influenced your approach to storytelling and producing?
Yes, I actually think it is that if I tell people that that is what I studied at USC, first they're shocked, but if they know me well, they're like, wow, that makes perfect sense because I'm all about understanding the brain and the human body and what it means and how to heal it physically and mentally and all of those things. And that's exactly what I'm doing on screen. And then musical theater, I mean, it's just performing and loving the performances and the lights and the cameras, and bringing the joy to the storytelling. I think that's the musical theater side of me. And I did for a hot second thought I needed to become a type of neurosurgeon. And my advisor, who's a world-renowned neuroscientist, encouraged me to be an actor. And that was really nice of him. I also wanted to say it wasn't that I was a bad student. I was actually a very good student. So, but just for him to know me as a person and to say, "Hey, I actually think you need to go into the entertainment industry, not become a scientist," was encouraging. I did start working as for doctors and research and that type of thing, but this is where I ended up, and this is the perfect plan, I think, for my career. Couple decades later, don't age me.
Yes, I think storytellers are born story.
Mm, yeah. Hmm.
Well, as both the creator and the producer of the film, what was your original vision for the audience experience? And what transformation did you hope viewers would experience?
Absolutely. So I'm going to talk about a past project and then this current project. The documentary has and still is reaching people to this level that most movies and movie theaters don't necessarily do. So these if I have a screening, well, I'll just say at the River Oaks Theater in Houston, we had a screening, and it's a beautiful theater. I don't know how many hundreds of seats. It's newly renovated, and after that was the first screening we've ever had. And after that screening, I had people come up to me, hugging me, crying to me. I didn't know them at all. And they said, "Thank you so much. This is my story," or "Thank you so much. This is my father's story." It was completely speaking to me. It encouraged me. Or one person said, "My brother is stuck in this place and I want him to see this documentary. How can he see it? Because he needs to know that there is still hope out there." And so that response is exactly not just what I want, but what God is doing through these projects. God told me to make the documentary, and He's telling me to make the next couple projects. And so this very next one is about postpartum depression. And God, me, whatever, God's telling me to make it. And my heart behind it is to help people be seen, heard, and affirmed in their struggle. And I believe that not only people relating to postpartum depression, but any type of mental health struggle I feel like people will respond and see themselves in this story because really, I don't think anyone's perfect. Even if they think they are, everyone needs love and needs a hug and just needs God. I'm not trying to be preachy, but I do. I have found solace in my relationship with him, and I know other people have as well. And so, this project, the next one about postpartum depression, is faith based, but it's for everybody, men included, and men especially, I would say, because they don't experience the specific mental health issue, but they can learn from it and they can see their wives and sisters and daughters in the film. So I am hoping to reach people's hearts, but also educate just a little bit with my personal journey, with my testimony.
This is most important because the guys have no idea what's going on.
No.
Not the woman they married, they just know that things are different. And the baby, it happened with the baby. So the whole thing blows their mind. And many divorces happen at this time.
Mm.
This is an important issue. So thank you for making this film.
Oh, of course. It is a really hard time. It's a really hard time. And my journey was 5 years. It was not 5 months. And also, I say my poor husband because he went through a lot, because I went through a lot. Um, and, and we're not just coming out on the other end. My kids are 11 and 9 now. So I feel like we've came out a while ago from that darkness. But you're right. And it's what I'm trying to be respectful at the same time. My father, my husband, and others have said, well, what does it feel like? What do you mean something hurts? What do you mean you can't get up or have a conversation or you can't, like, are you just tired? I'm like, no, it's more than just tired. And when people's hormones are messed up, it really does mess you up. It doesn't make you feel like a person. I always say I felt like a dead person walking. I felt like a zombie. Um, I don't remember a lot of my time in that 5 years. I don't know, blacked it out, I guess. There were I can get into all the details, but it's a really hard place to be when it's not who you were. I was always energetic and full of life and got everything done and type A, and then it all just hit, and you're taking care of this tiny little baby and you're figuring it out, and you want the best for your baby and you forget to take care of yourself, and then it just falls apart. So yes, I don't think there's a word or words to even describe it. So that's why I'm putting it on the screen, because a picture is 1,000 words and a video is even more.
Exactly. Well, every film begins with a dream, but eventually it requires financing. So
Mm,
to approach funding and the development and production of this film.
sure. So, with the documentary and with our next one, we are partnered with From the Heart Productions as our fiscal sponsor. And so we ended up winning a local Houston grant. It was quite small for the documentary, and we needed to raise more funds around it to make it something special, to make it as quality as I wanted it to be. And so, we reached out to our network of people, of friends, of family, of churches, and asked them specifically, hey, this is a tax deductible donation. It goes through From the Heart Productions. Would you feel comfortable giving towards that? So that the documentary was a lower budget project, which was helpful, so we can get it done without having to raise $2 million. And for this next one, I'm currently writing a script with Adrian Grabe from the Madam Secretary Writers Room, and we are going to submit it for the same but a larger local Houston grant to get us started. We do need twice as much or more of that grant, so I'm going to also reach out to people. I wanted to I guess it's a shout out. My home church in San Diego, Maranatha Chapel, Daniel Bentley offered his time to be the pastor to wrap up the message in the documentary. So I wanted to say thank you to him and their, film crew and everything. They made it happen so that we can finish the documentary with a bang, I would say. So you can, we partnered with my church I grew up in. I'm hoping to partner with them again in the next project. I did talk with the head pastor and he said, great, tell me more. So that's exciting. Also getting the right people involved is good. So having the right pitch deck. I'm I I spoke with John Wickham, who's Phil Wickham's father, and I've known him a little bit. He's at our home church in San Diego. He leads worship there, and so I'm crossing my fingers and praying, and I think it might work out to get Phil Wickham on the soundtrack for this next project. For him to write a song for us and then sing it and put it in the movie, and I think it would be beautiful and fabulous. So the more name and the right people that God's bringing to the project also help, building the team, to bring it to someone to say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. Here's the script. Here's the cast. Here's the crew. This is going to be a meaningful project. Yeah. So we're working with From the Heart Productions for the majority of it. So thank you, Carol.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's great to work with you. The thing
Oh,
that yes, because your heart's in it, you're in it with both feet, you're determined, and that's really what it takes. Tenacity is the best filmmaker. So good for you.
tenacity is my favorite word. Can I tell you a quick story about it?
Yes.
Okay. So I was at USC. It was parents' weekend. My mother was sitting next to me. We were in Bovard Auditorium, which is very big and beautiful. And Henry Winkler was on stage talking because he was there because his son Max was in the film school. So he had a talk, and afterwards we walked up to him, and my mom embarrassed me and she said, hey, Henry, my daughter wants to be an actress. How does she become an actress? I was like, Mom, I didn't want you to say that. But he took the magazine, the USC magazine, and he wrote tenacity. He said, you need tenacity. And he signed it Henry Winkler.
Oh,
And so that was the tenacity story. And then there's a second section. So I was filming on Children's Hospital and Henry Winkler is one of the leads. And so I went up to him. I said, Henry, I wanted to tell you thank you for writing tenacity on my USC magazine. And he remembered having the conversation with me and my mother after his talk in Bovard Auditorium at USC. He remembered me. And that was probably 4 years later. And I was blown away by all of it. So he said, see, I told you tenacity is it. And now we're here filming together on a show. So I wanted to say thank you to him.
that is incredible, all the way around from the
Right.
to the end, and there you go. Yes, that's what it's the backbone of the filmmaker, tenacity.
It's beautiful.
What were the biggest challenges you encountered while raising money, and how did you maintain momentum when you had obstacles?
Yes. So, what I've run into so far with typical investors is that they want to see a project. And it's a catch-22 situation because you need money to make the project, but they want to see the project before they give the money. And it's 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 really difficult. And so there are a couple that we were able to say, hey, here is for the documentary, we filmed dailies. We filmed first before we did post production, which was more expensive for the documentary, usually always. And we were able to show those dailies, and then they said, "Okay, I can see exactly where this is going." And for the next one, I'm going to have a script. I'm going to have a pitch deck, and I'm going to say, "This is what we got. This is how much we need. Please be a part of it." This is our vision too. This is our ministry. This is our um, desire to just reach people in a deep way. So I'm hoping I keep saying hoping, but we're intending to, you know, real convince people that this is the right thing to really care about. Um, the catch-22 is definitely difficult, especially for a feature. So we were working on the feature, which is mental health and addiction. We'll bring it down to a particular. I have a story written, but anyway, it's a little. It's taking my personal story and making it beautiful fictional drama. And to write a feature script it's expensive, and I so I've put a lot of money of my own into the beginning stages of these projects because I believe in them fully 100%. But once we get a little bit for people to bite, it's a little easier. So, and then grants, you have to apply to them and you hope and pray and cross your fingers that you win. So that's another, um, I mean, I'm planning on having a grant, but you never know until you get it or you don't.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep after them. You have to go back.
Mm-hmm. Find specific ones to the topics that you're doing or the places that you're filming. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I've seen where people who applied for my grant, the third or fourth time is when they win because one, they usually start applying for grants too early, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, they haven't really developed the film to show its true potential. It's not developed.
Right.
So once they do apply, and we see the potential, but they don't. They're not there yet. Then the next year they come back, and we can see the movement that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, the second or the third time, you'll get into the hot films or into the finalist, and then move into winning. But it may take you 2 years. So the key with grants is don't give up. Keep going back.
Right. Don't give up. Keep going back. There's always more. You can find different ones. I ended up grants got me through college. Um, I just kept applying, and no matter how big or how small, because everything adds up.
Exactly. Everything is a win, a potential win.
Hmm.
Now, back to your own projects, and when you are presenting the project to potential investors, what materials or strategies prove the most effective in helping the donors understand the vision and the business opportunity for
Right.
investment?
Right. I I don't feel let's just say what am I trying to I'm trying to like say sorry before I even say any of this. I know that I'm giving my thoughts. I'm sure there's 100 million ways to do things, and so you're just going to hear from what I have to say. But I wanted to say also, at USC, I had this professor, Joseph Hacker, and he said, in the entertainment industry, everything is impossible, but there's a million ways. And that is the motto that I'm taking because there isn't a way to do things. There's not you follow A, B, C steps and then voila, it's going to happen. And so it's a lot of adjusting and people relationships and building them. And you have no idea when someone's going to say, okay, yes, I'm ready to give you $1 million, or even $1,000. And but they're relationships. These are people that we're working with. They're not machines. They're not robots. And so I have pitch decks. We have footage of previous projects. We have resumes. We have the team of people who are a part of it. And like I was talking with Angel Studios, my documentary is going to be on the Angel Studios streaming platform. And so I was talking with Angel Studios about the next project. And I said, hey, Phil Wickham's most likely going to be a part of it. And their response was, oh my goodness, we love Phil Wickham because he just did the David cartoon movie with them. And, and the world is small. I feel like we're all connected somehow. And you could be somewhere else in the world, meet someone who lives down the street from you, just like this podcast. You know, the the podcaster is in the same city as me, and we didn't even know that. And it's just a small world. And so keeping good relationships, having all of the not paperwork, but all of your stuff together, all your ducks in a row. Make sure that you care about what you're doing, you're confident about what you're doing. Don't have false confidence and don't overpromise. That's a big thing. You can't say, "Oh, well, this film's going to make 20x," because that's rare and probably not true. But being honest about this is an investment. We here's other films that are similar to ours, and this is the success that they've encountered, and we expect to encounter similar success level or responses, and we're hoping for more than that. And that's in your investing in, well, for my projects, also the purpose behind it, the audience that we want to reach in the way that we want to reach them. And so I do view my films as a ministry, not just spiritually, but a ministry for people who need to feel seen and need to just feel less alone. And then a little tiny bit educational for the people who don't understand their loved ones who are going through stuff. So it's multifaceted, I believe, but it's all about relationship.
Yes, it certainly is. And I'm amazed and congratulations for working with Angel Studios because it's really difficult,
Thank you.
made to get the film made by them. And so, what's your experience working with Angel?
Yes, so it's the beginning stages. We are in back and forth with what it's going to look like for the documentary to be streaming on their platform, and it's very beginning stages. Um, Again, I'm using the word hope. I would love to work with them on the production side of the next projects. We'll see what happens with that. I can't, nothing signed, so I can't, you know, I don't know, expect much, but and you know what? If we end up working separate, like if I'm doing this more independently, that's perfectly fine too. There's actually other I can name drop them all, but there's faith-based production companies in the US that we've met with face to face who are really excited about our next projects. A lot of them, actually. We had 17 meetings, and I would, and like 15 of them were like, wow, let's do this. So I feel like we'll be able to get one. I do have my top favorite ones, and the people who I would trust the most to get this done the right way. So
That's really good news.
thank you.
But this is happening because you are initiating these phone calls, these Zoom calls, right? You're
Yes.
money.
Yes. I am an initiator. That's what I do. That's how God's created me. The meetings were in person, which was really fabulous. NRB, which National Broadcast, I always say it wrong. NRB is a Christian conference for media and a lot of film. And we were able to have face-to-face conversations with these people there because they all go there, which was wonderful. Yeah. So they say, well, show me the next step, show me the next step. And we're almost done with the next step. So I'm excited.
Right. Well, faith-based films often balance ministry and marketplace goals. So, how did you navigate creating a film that is spiritually meaningful while also reaching a broader audience?
Absolutely. So I'm from California and I have always been a Christian and I've always had friends who are not Christians. And every person is a human and let me also say this, one of my spiritual gifts is evangelism. And so every friend that I've ever had knows exactly what I believe, why I believe it. Some of us have had arguments, fun arguments. They're never angry. I would always make it a priority because I care, I guess, to have these conversations with film people, crew members on these big sets. the conversation always went there because people are starving. They're starving for the truth. And I was just in LA recently for less than a month, and in it, I feel like in California people are starving more than, well, I live in Texas. They're starving more for, wait, you're a Christian? Wait, you're cool. Wait, I can have a conversation with you and I'm not judging you. And they're just like, what is happening here? And that to me is very important to put in the films and to have these films reach people of faith and people who don't think they have faith. Um, because, well, first of all, let me kind of make fun of my mom for a second. My mom is a Christian and she loves Christian movies. And usually when she tells me, hey, Jessica, you need to watch this Christian movie, I'm like, well, I don't know because you like everything. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be cheesy. And so the opposite of cheesy is really what I'm going for and what I've already made and what I'm making. Because when it's high quality, when it's good acting, when the cinematography is beautiful, when the story is spot on and powerful, then it reaches the human heart. It goes past the judgment of quote unquote religious talk. And that to me is the most important thing. So, like I said before, evangelism is one of my spiritual gifts. And that's, I'm not going to be preaching to the audience. However, you will 100% know that God is the strength behind what the what the healing process will look like for the characters in my scripts. And it's from a personal experience and it's from other powerful testimonies that I've heard. But yeah, I think the whole world should, that's going to make me sound like I'm a peace person, but get along. We don't need to be against each other. And so my documentary has already, and this film will, I'm saying this, I'm commanding it to happen, but will reach everybody wherever they're at.
Right.
And yeah, so
That's the purpose. That's
mhm.
okay. Well, let's talk about audience building.
Okay.
So, what lessons have you learned about connecting with viewers before you release your film?
Hmm. Okay. I think it's a little bit of a tricky subject because you want to share the story and people can get excited about it. So the closer, I'll use an example. I have a neighborhood Bible study that I go to. Maybe there's 25 to 35 people on any given time, so it's kind of big. It's women only, and I would always be asking for prayer. And I'm like, hey, I need prayer for time. I need to get this done in a week. Or I have prayer for a location to work out or something else. And so they felt like they were a part of it through the process. And then the moment I was able to show them the documentary, they were ecstatic. They felt like, wow, I can't believe that, we felt like we were part of the process. And you can't do that with the whole world, but you can kind of share little pieces without giving away the whole. That's why they have trailers. But even just having, oh, you guys, it's so funny. God downloads things in my mind, and I just got an idea of how I could do that, is have little videos of maybe testimonials that I can share that are around the story that don't give away the whole script or the whole movie, to get people really, I guess, excited about what's to come, and then bring their friends and say, hey, well, this is something that I think my friend Natalie needs to see, and then they can go together or watch it together. Yeah, so it is, I feel like it's a part of me. It's not just what I do, it's also who I am. And so when I talk about these projects, I'm talking about myself and my heart and my vision, um, and the reach, because that's the whole point. You want to reach people, and this is a message, to share. So it's
Yeah,
impossible, but there's a million ways.
it's impossible, but there are a million ways to do it. You're right. So basically, what you're saying is those short videos bring people to more understand what your film is about. That is a wonderful way to add audiences to your film, right?
I think so. I think so. And I know that having the cast and sometimes even crew share their experiences. Sorry, the pictures you take while you're filming is really fun too. People love to see behind the scenes photos, videos, that type of thing is nice as well.
Yes, they love it. So let me ask, what distribution path are you pursuing for your film? And what advice would you give filmmakers about preparing for distribution long before the production is over?
Okay, so I'll tell you what I did. Um, there are Christian conferences that have pitch-a-thons where you can meet the people you want to meet for distribution. Usually, those groups ask for a finished product. Um, so you have to be careful. You have to have either a finished product or meet with the ones who are willing to see before production, maybe a pitch deck. Maybe you filmed a teaser or a trailer before you do principal photography so you can share what it's going to look like, what it's going to seem like. And yeah, there are and I just saw, I don't know any information about this, but I just saw another one that's not faith-based for a pitch-a-thon in LA happening soon. And so there's opportunities for independent filmmakers who don't already have the relationships to sign up for something like this and get face-to-face time, which is usually 5 to 7 minutes. So not that long, but it is meaningful and it makes a big difference. And with the documentary going to Angel Studio streaming platform, I can see the next projects doing the same. I mean, I hope so. I still would have to pass the guild, which is, I don't even know how many people have to vote on it, hundreds, for it to pass. And yeah, so I mean, it would be great to have everything in one place, to say like, oh, these three projects that are all around mental health are all on Angel streaming platforms and you can watch them back to back and it has my name on there. And so maybe they can find it that way. Um, so yeah, and like I said, it's building relationships and keeping in touch with people.
And your vision, that is a really good vision, Jessica.
Thanks. I just had it right now.
Right, this is fun. So looking back on the entire journey from concept to financing to production and distribution, what would you do differently if you were starting this project today?
Great question. I think it's okay to put a little bit of my own money in projects, but at some point, like for the future, I'm raising $2 million and I can't do that. I could do nothing close to that. And so, um, ideally, you can find investors to jump on board early, but that's not the case that I've come in contact with. Um, it's hard to say different. It's not really how my mind works. I don't try to live with regret. And I know you didn't ask that question, but I know what we did with the documentary and I know that it's worked. It did take some time, but everything takes some time. Once we won the first grant for that, we had only 2.5 weeks over Thanksgiving to put it all together with the editor. And it worked. I mean, it wasn't the ideal timing, but it did work. And then I was able to submit to the festivals that I wanted to submit to in time. And I just wish I had more time, but you can't really change that. You can be as productive as you can be, but we all need sleep. We all need family time. I love my family. I prefer to just be with them and eat good food. And so it's balancing everything. I am a balancer as well, with friendships, with social life, with work life, with family, with everything. And I think that finding the right balance is really important. I did, however, this is silly, but I had to say, okay, I need to create time. So what do I need to take out of my schedule? And I ended up taking friends out, and that was hard. So I'm trying to build the friendships back in because for about a year, all my friends said, "Where did you go?" And I was like, "Well, I'm making movies." And I love it. I love it so much. And I thrive on my computer by myself, editing stuff for hours on end. Like I'm an introvert at heart, even though everyone thinks I'm an extrovert. And I do the love friendships. So I think having the right balance is really important. I thankfully do have a very supporting spouse. I mean, even just a couple months, I don't know, very recently, I said, "Hey, I gotta go to LA for 3 weeks. Is that okay?" He's like, "That's what you have to do. Absolutely." And so that's something you can't, you know, change, but I'm so blessed to have a spouse who believes in the projects that I'm making and even making introductions for me and being my cheerleader because he believes what I'm doing is a beautiful thing as well. So I didn't really answer your question because it's hard to say what I would do different because I just know what I have done. And then, every day you can try something new. You can try something else um, to get it going.
Yes, you definitely can, because there are many ways to get through the maze and into success. But I will say to you that your idea of going after the $2 million for the feature is really important to understand that usually development costs for 2 million is around 200,000, 150 might do it. But that development money is what you want to come in tax free through your investors giving you the money, not as an investor, but as a donor. If you can get that 150 through your nonprofit from the heart, that gives you the money to hire your attorney, your casting agent, the people that
Hmm.
you need for the film to move to develop your film. And then you go out with your product placement memorandum and your attorney to the wealthy people looking for investments.
Right. Once everything is on paper, not just, you know, a desire.
Oh,
Absolutely. And that's the goal. That's absolutely the goal. Getting the donations first.
and I think that you're so lucky to be working with the prayer group because
Mm.
prayer works. I do this class called intentional filmmaking class. Well, when I started the class, the idea behind it was to have people intend or pray for the people in the class so that they were able to achieve more. And when I offered this to my first class years ago, only one woman said, "Yes, I want someone to pray for me." And so I gave the film to a wife and husband who are devoted Christians, and they began to intend for her.
Mm.
Well, it didn't come in, Jessica, as here's a 10,000 donation, $10,000 or things like that. But what happened was, one, a phone call from a friend saying, "I have an office available overlooking the ocean. Would you like that for a year?" Yes. Well,
Yes.
what is that, 50,000 maybe? I don't know. But that's the money that you don't have to spend. And then her boss, where she worked for a living, started sending her to the cities where she needed to interview people for her documentary on death and dying. And so there she just paid for one more night, spent the night, did the interview, came home with footage for a few $100s. These synchronicities continue to happen.
Right.
And she finished her film. And she had been she's from Canada. She had been to the Canadian government asking for money for the film in the first place. They saw the completed film, said, "Oh, why didn't you come to us?"
Oh.
She said, "I did, but you turned me down." They said, "Oh no, we won't do that again." She said, "I have enough ideas and footage to have half the second film done." They said, "We'll fund you."
That's beautiful.
She is on her third film on death and dying. So
Yeah.
she's the only one that took the concept. And so you don't be afraid to ask people to pray for you or
Oh, yes.
intend
Pray
for.
for you. Yes. And connect you with people and offer what they can. And when it's God's will, I think praying for success is perfectly good.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. If it's
And it's
right.
a ministry for him. And yeah, not just blindly saying, make me a rich person, but make this project be successful to reach your people. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that story.
Good. Thank you, Jessica. Well, keep those women involved and use them to help you create this film.
Hmm.
Your prayer group, which is really valuable.
It really is. It really is.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for this information, sharing your experience and your wisdom and your faith-filled approach to filmmaking, because your journey with your film is a reminder that meaningful films begin with a vision. And we really appreciate your honesty about producing, fundraising, audience building, and distribution. And I know our listeners will take away valuable insights to use on their own projects. And all of us at the Art of Film Funding podcast, thank you very much. We invite you to join us again next week for another conversation with industry professionals who are here to shape the future of independent films. And until then, please keep developing your stories and building your community and raising the funds you need. And most importantly, keep making your films, because the world needs your voice and they need your vision, because you are the magic. Hollywood needs you. I'm Carol Dean, and Claire Papan and I will be here next week with another Art of Film Funding podcast. Thank you, Jessica,
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
and thank you, Claire.
Now, in its second edition, Carol Dean's popular book, The Art of Film Funding, has 12 new chapters to cover all areas of film financing and how to avoid expensive pitfalls. Learn how to start with an idea and end with a trailer, how to make an ask for money, create your story structure and your trailer, legal advice, fair use, successful crowdfunding, how to ask for music rights, and what insurance you can't shoot without. Available on Amazon under Carol Dean and at FromTheHeartProductions.com. I want to remind our listeners that David Raiklin is a brilliant and talented award-winning musician who scores films and can compose music for a trio or for a full orchestra. David is a very good friend to the independent filmmaker and comes highly recommended by From the Heart Productions. If you need music to help tell your story, please contact him at davidraiklin.com. That's David, RAIKLEN.com. And Carol and I want to thank you for tuning in to The Art of Film Funding. Please visit our website at FromTheHeartProductions.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Good luck with your films, everyone.